I'm John Mercure. This is Focus on the Falls. I'm super excited today because we are talking art with some very talented students in our district and their instructors, the teachers that are in charge of the curriculum in the art department. Thank you all so much for being with us. I'm going to kind of introduce you as we go along here instead of introducing you all right at the beginning. First off, my gosh, what you have in front of you is absolutely amazing. I'm going to start with you, Nathan. So as a young student in our district, a fifth grader, and you're joined by Mr. Quinn Elliott, who's behind you here, I want to start with a really broad question, Nathan. What is it about art and being creative that you enjoy so much?
Well, I enjoy that there isn't any rules that you have to follow to do art.
So tell me about the chalk drawing that you have in front of you. That is absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's a bird, and I used some chalk to blend the colors on the picture, and it came out as this.
Is it a specific kind of bird? Did you see a picture? Did something inspire you? Why that beautiful bird?
I saw a picture in our art class, and I said, well, that would be cool to make an art project. And
it is cool. It's so beautiful. I have Orioles that come to my yard, and it looks like an Oriole with that bright orange. And how do you feel when you're sitting down doing something like this? Like, I could never do that. You're so talented. How do you feel when you're sketching or you're drawing or you're creating something?
Well, I'm very focused, and I don't let anything distract me, and I'm just...
You're doing your thing. You're dialed in.
Yeah.
I like your mask, by the way. That's very creative and very cool. Mr. Elliott, why is art so important for kids this age?
Well, it's one of the first writing skills that they have are drawing pictures and being able to communicate. Also, it's the building blocks to eventually be, go all the way through the levels from middle school to high school and on to careers. So they learn a lot of fundamentals and building blocks, and they get to learn who they are. And unlike like math or other curriculum that have a regimen that everybody's doing the same thing, students get to explore their own being of who they want to be creatively.
So we know how important play is when it comes to kids learning and developing, and I don't mean to imply that this is just play, but it's a way for kids to express some of the same things they do when they play and when they interact and when they get to create. How important is that playful part of a curriculum or of a learning experience?
Well, a lot of the students will collaborate with each other like they do when they're out at recess. They kind of come up with their own strategies. A lot of the times I'm learning from the different things that the students do on their own. So as a teacher, I give requirements that we need to fulfill, but the students get to take it in the direction that they want to go. So I get to look at their artwork or their feedback, and I get to maybe change what I'm teaching just due to what I see that the students are creating on the paper or painting or 3D or whatever we're creating. So it's really a neat process because in elementary, the students are really exploring what art is all about.
Are you an artist? Do you create?
I do. I'm more currently right now as just being a teacher, but I create, and when I get a chance, my own children go to Riverside along with Nathan, so it's always trying to keep up with the kids and I get the chance to create and do some things at home.
I absolutely love it. I want to move down the line. It is Youth Art Month, we should say, by the way. You can check out some beautiful art at the Menomonee Falls Library. I want to welcome in Scarlett Stujensky and Kelly McCalligan. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us. Scarlett, tell us about your beautiful creation.
His name is Balthazar. I made him in our sewing project where basically we got to create an OC or use one of our past OCs, and we got to make it in sort of like a modified version that's more simpler. So I created Balthazar for this project.
What's an OC?
An OC is an original character that you create and sort of like come up with a backstory, and he or she has like a personality, sort of.
I love it. Okay, so tell me about Balthazar.
Balthazar, I created him when I was at home because we used to be doing the hybrid thing. So I have my sketchbook in front of me, and I sort of just started drawing shapes because that's something I like to do with my style. I like to sort of have it a little shapy. So I started drawing random shapes and he sort of just came to be. And
Is he hand sewn?
Yes, he is. He's completely hand sewed, and I put wires inside the arms and legs to bend them so I could put him in different
That is so
positions.
cool.
Yeah.
So tell me what kind of place it takes you to when you're involved with art, when you're creating something, when you're in that little zone.
It's sort of like my happy zone because art is one of my favorite hobbies. So, and it's sort of like a little place to calm me down, or sort of like if I'm stressed, it's a de-stressor for me.
Kelly, when we have Youth Art Month and we have times a year that specifically celebrate the arts, why is that important?
I think it's incredibly important because, especially at the middle school, we know that every kid loves to express themselves, but middle school students can sometimes have a hard time channeling that, and our artists at the middle school have really found a good groove in expressing themselves. And when we get to show off their expression and let everybody in the community and their families be a part of that and celebrate all of the cool things that they can do, it's really, really rewarding for the students.
So math is fun, I guess. English can be kind of fun, but it's not art fun. When you get to help kids learn and develop and excel, but it's in this creative way, how rewarding is that as an instructor?
Oh, it's great. I love when we get a really good stride in the classroom. We have our music playing, everybody's kind of in the zone like Scarlett was talking about. And it's especially really great to hear from parents too when they reach out to me, especially with this project. And they're like, my kids are sewing buttons back onto things for me. And they're so excited, and we have that support from both the kids and the parents when they really get excited about channeling all their knowledge from all their classes into a creative thing.
I love it. All right, I'm going to come back to you guys in just a second, but I want to bring into the conversation Riley Root, a senior at the high school, and Tara Shimoleski. Tara, so you and I know each other because my daughters went through the high school here, and my one daughter is very creative. She was in AP art, loved it. She's 28, and she still carries that with her, and it's still part of her journey and part of the things that are important to her. When you hear about kids who leave here and what you've done, having that impact, I mean, it's 10, 12 years later now. How important does that tell you that what you do here is?
Well, I'm sure you can see like the sparkle in my eye
Yeah.
already, where it's like I'm the proud parent still. When I hear everything like that, I'm not only impressed with their drive and their ambition, but they actually followed their passion and stayed with it, which sometimes that gets lost along the way. But sometimes I do pick it up also later, but for something like that, it's amazing.
Why is art important? When you hear, and we all hear it, that art may go away, or there may be diminished resources for programs like art. We have not done that here. We've made a commitment in this district to make it important. Why is it so important?
Not only for a student to be able to express themselves, but it's the problem solving, the innovation, creative thinking, everything that goes into that, where someone might be just book smart, but being able to use the right and the left side of the brain together, which is what we really strive for in our department from first grade through 12th grade, where it's amazing, where we're trying to incorporate that into even other different courses that are offered here at the high school and at all the levels, where our kids know how to do that. You know, they're taught that at a very young age, like, be yourself, get all those wonderful ideas out on paper, even if you're journaling. It's not that they're all going to be wrong or they're all going to be right, where you have that opportunity to problem solve, figure it out as you go along.
Riley, tell me about the beautiful piece of art that's in front of you that you created.
Yeah, so this is my self-portrait that I made in my AP 2D design class. And it originally started as just a photograph that I had taken, but I used different programs on the computer, and yeah, I like digitalized it, and I kind of decided to take a different spin on it and make it so it wasn't like a traditional self-portrait. So I used like different colors that wouldn't usually be, like, my skin is purple, that's obviously not normal, but I just decided to kind of take a fun spin on it, and yeah, I really like how it turned out.
What would your parents' reaction be if you came home and your hair was that color?
They probably would be surprised, to say the least. Yeah, they would be very shocked.
What is it that you get out of art, that you get out of having that time when you can create and you can be in that moment?
Yeah, well, high school and especially senior year is very stressful. I have a lot of different classes going on. There's stuff that I have to do to prepare for college and all that. And I just really enjoy like coming to my art class every day because I think it's just a way to express myself and kind of let out a lot of that stress and frustration that I may be having elsewhere, and I just get to channel it into my art.
I'm proud of the job that the district's done with this very difficult time with the pandemic and juggling learning in person and the hybrid model and virtual learning and all of that. As a senior, what have been the biggest challenges and how weird has it been for it not to be how the other school years were for you growing up?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest part for me was just not being able to have as much like face-to-face and social interactions, because that's a big part for me, and it's really like beneficial for my learning if I'm like working in groups and working with other people. So that took a lot to adjust to.
Scarlett, do you get inspired when you see your classmates and your friends and others in the art class and they're maybe using a different medium or they're doing something completely different?
Yes, absolutely. Me and my friends sort of take inspiration from each other, so sometimes I'll see something that my friends do and I'll be like, oh, can you show me that? Because I like to learn. Like, it's not just I have my style and that's all I could do. I like to branch off and sort of try new things and other things, because then that could inspire me and that could be one of my new favorite things.
Do you think that maybe art will be something that's a part of your life, an important part, as you continue to move forward?
Yes, absolutely, I believe. I enjoy not only doing this, of course, and being in class and getting to bond with others, but that's something I do in my free time too, or like on the side of my homework. Like, it's not only just an art class, it's part of me.
Nathan, tell me what's rewarding about when you get something done and it's all finished and you can show it to your teacher or your friends or your parents. What's rewarding about that? How does that make you feel?
Well, I like to sort of give people something to look at and like inspire them to do what I made and maybe like change something about them. And that could be like something that they like to do after I made this.
How old are you, Nathan?
I'm 11.
Okay, so I'm blown away when I look at that. That's so beautiful and you're so talented. When did you know that drawing or creating art came easy to you or you liked it?
Well, it started in my sketchbook, and I just said, well, I'm going to try something new. And I just started drawing, and I started to like look at it and say, oh, this is actually really good. And so I started like looking up pictures on like ideas to draw, and then I started coming up with my own stuff. Like,
How long ago was that? When did you start sketching and you knew like, wow, this is pretty cool and I can do this?
probably a couple of years ago.
Wow, that is so amazing. Tara, out of the corner of my eye, I keep seeing your mask. Is it like a prerequisite that as an art teacher you have to have like this cool artsy mask? And why are these two wearing black masks?
It matches their outfits.
And black is slimming. Yeah.
No, I like the splatter paint, especially right now. We have color month going on here at the high school where we kind of have incentives for the students to dress up as colors every single day. Usually we can do it within a week, but because of the odd and even days, it took us the whole month to get through the color wheel. And it's just fun. So I can wear this every day and it matches everything.
Kelly, what's been the biggest challenge with the changed learning environment the past year?
Ooh, I would say the biggest challenge has been that I am a very hands-on person. So during the hybrid learning earlier this year, students were really great about showing me their projects on camera, and I would just want to jump in and help them, and having to channel my hands-on approach into talking them through something over the computer, that was a little tough. But I think we got there. Some days
Yeah.
were rougher than others, but I'm glad that we're all back so that I can use both my speaking skills and my hands-on skills together now.
Quinn, how proud are you of how students in the district and your peers have come through this year? I mean, it hasn't been easy at times, but you guys have really found a way to excel.
Yeah, and I have my own children go to school at Riverside, as I said, and to see all the commitment that the district has made for this to be available as far as art and everything else, it's been not only a blessing, but it's been great for the students to be able to still function as normal as possible. And it's it's really nice to be able to see all the students' faces if they're virtual or if they were, when they were hybrid, now we're back in. But it's nice to be able to still connect with them. And they get a chance to connect with me as well, so that they still have art and they still have a schedule that they get to follow. And I think that is probably the most important thing for especially younger students, because school is the connection. School is a very important connection for them to have outlets and connections with friends and with teachers. And I think it's been done very well for all of the students.
I am blown away when I see the art behind you, when I see the art in the library, when I walk through the hallways and I look in the cases and I see the art. It's amazing what's created in this building, in the other buildings in our district, with the young kids to the middle-aged kids all the way through the high school. Tara, when you see the things that come out of here, and it's like professional grade, it's just absolutely unbelievable. What does that tell you about the talent that lies in this community and in this district?
I think it really starts not only with the parents and their support, but also with the teachers that are at each level, where they're not only supporting the students, they're also helping where be yourself, express yourself, show that creativity and let it shine. Don't be embarrassed because of what someone else says. Let that shine through, where when they come up to the high school, it's so much easier, where I don't have to say the sky is not only blue. You know, there could be greens and purples in it, there might be a little bit of yellows. Like, they're used to that now, so it's fabulous.
Like, Riley's hair is not only brown, it can be purple. Riley, when you hear kids say, not kids, when you hear people in the community sometimes say, it's just art, it's really not that big a deal, or why do we spend money on that? What do you tell them? You're a well-rounded student who excels academically, but this is important to you. What do you tell them about the importance of art?
Yeah, well, I think that art is just really important, and I think that it provides a way for students and just people in general to express themselves in ways that different classes or different activities might not be able to do that for them. And so I think that, Youth Art Month is really, I just think it's really awesome because it's very rewarding to us artists that we get to have a whole month dedicated to recognizing our hard work.
So Scarlett, I keep going back to math because I'm not very good at math. It's one of the reasons I'm married, because my wife's really, really good at math. Only one of the reasons. When I think about math, it's something that I have to do, and I got good at it because I needed to. Art and your passion seems to be so much different, because not only is it a learned skill and something that you're mastering, but you like it, you love it, you look forward to it. Can you talk a little bit about why art's so important to you?
Well, art's sort of important because once I complete a project, it's rewarding. It's sure, I'll be able to do math for the rest of my life. That's a skill I need, but I don't enjoy it as much. Things that are more enjoyable tend to be more rewarding once you learn them and sort of master them. And even though you can say master, you're really never done learning. There's always something new, which is something that I love.
Man, I love it too. I love what you guys are doing. I love that the district does it, Youth Art Month. So is stuff on display at the library through the end of the month? Is that done? Is that already down?
No, it's actually virtual this year.
Okay, so tell me about that. How can people check it out?
Because the library is still closed right now. And so I was trying to do a brainchild, how one day, literally I still want to highlight the students. I still want to get art out there. What can we do? So I talked to a couple of our staff members, and then I also, Amy over at district office was very helpful too with it. And I just bounced a whole bunch of ideas off her. I'm like, tell me if these work, tell me if they don't work. I'm like, tell me if I'm overboard. It happens a lot. But I'm like, I want to highlight the students themselves and really promote their artwork. So at every single level, there's social media, there's pieces of artwork, 2D, 3D, computerized stuff that's going out at every single school besides
Cool.
district office that's sending it out. And then we also have our webpage too, and the district has set up a site also for everything for Youth Art Month. So there's links for just the students to see their artwork. There are links that they can go and play online games for free. There's free software. Some of the students up here even helped find where there's over 60 free museum tours that you can go
cool.
to all online. So everything is completely virtual. Nothing is really in person this year.
So you can check it out online. If you go to the district website, Is there a way to find links there? It's all right there. It's pretty easy,
Yes,
right?
it's
I mean, I
underneath
looked at it.
curriculum.
It's incredible.
Yep, it's underneath the curriculum.
Okay, so go to the district website, look underneath curriculum. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be blown away at all this stuff that's out there, the level of talent, the level of commitment. Boy, I want to thank you guys so much, because when we go through these times, like we've gone through the past year, and it's kind of dark and we're nervous and we don't know what's going on, it's so nice to have the brightness and to have the light of the things that you all create, and you inspire all of us. So thank you so much for being with us. Nathan, Quinn, Scarlett, Kelly, Riley, Tara, thank you so much for what you do, and thanks for spending some time with us and Focus on the Falls. Welcome to Focus on the Falls. I'm John Mercure, joined by the superintendent, Corey Golla. Corey, so good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks, John.
The district's doing great too. I talked to a lot of people in town, parents, educators, even some kids. They are excited with how things are going. How are things now that more and more kids are back in the classroom more regularly?
Yeah, I would say what we're thrilled about is things are just feeling more like normal, and that's, I think, what everybody was excited about and wanted. We continue to be healthy. All kids are back at all levels, and we're staying healthy. We've really been healthy since Thanksgiving break.
Yep.
It's been a steady stream there. Activities are going well. We're starting to pivot and start looking at some of those end-of-year activities, and how can we give kids some of those experiences that we lost last spring, make them, they won't look the same, but at least have some of those end-of-year rituals that they love so much.
I know you take a lot of pride in getting into the buildings and getting into classrooms. How cool is it to have the energy back to, like you said, almost what it's like in a normal year?
Oh, we love it. I mean, and it does really feel that way. Just today, seeing kids coming in off the bus, and they're just talking. They're accustomed to the mask, so that's a non-issue anymore. And our music classes are back up to full capacity, so that they're getting those experiences. Looking forward to some spring concerts and things like that. And yeah, I think all the teachers feel that. And a lot of thanks from teachers, even, of just realizing, like, how much they knew how much the kids needed this, and it feels great right now.
Teachers are now eligible to get vaccinated here in Wisconsin. Pretty soon everybody will be. How big a deal was that when teachers were able to get the shot?
It was great. It was great. It was great for them. We had multiple teachers and support people in our system just reach out and thank us, which gave you some indication of how nervous they were. At this point, we had a great partnership with Froedtert Health, so all of our teachers who want the vaccine have now had access. So we're, I'd say, kind of at that midpoint where most people who wanted have had their first shot, and then early April will be have that second shot. By mid-April, we'll be really fully vaccinated for our entire employee group.
Do you find that most teachers have decided to get the shot?
Yeah, we when we first surveyed, because we were working close with the county and our partners to help get that access and just help schedule some of those things, and we were at over 90% of our people working in our system
Wow.
wanted that vaccine, and I would say they wanted it yesterday. Like, they were saying in their survey, yes, I want it, and then reaching out saying, I just want to make sure I said, yes, I want it. I mean, they really are excited about that.
I love where we're sitting because we're in one of the art classrooms. It's Youth Art Month. We spent a lot of time talking about the academies and AP courses. We're going to do that actually coming up here in a moment. But I wanted to ask you, when you talk about art and things like that, why is that so important that we protect that as part of the curriculum and part of the experience?
There's a lot of reasons it's important, and boy, we heard some of those with the conversation you had with those students. Is one, art for art's sake matters, so we always want to value that. When you hear students say things like, it brings focus to me, it's my happy place. I mean, we want kids to connect with their passions, and a lot of kids connect with that. And then there's some very just tangible things that we need to recognize the value of art, is that the design process, the collaboration, the problem solving, those are transferable skills. In fact, what you always hear is, we're preparing the students for a world of work that we don't even know what it will look like. So they'll need to be able to change and to think creatively and to problem solve and to design. So everything they're learning in art will be applicable in whatever they might do after school.
I love that. And if you go to the hardest skill when you talk about art, there are many people who graduate from this district who have a career in the arts, or they use that in some way in their career. I mean, it's a real skill that's valuable in the real world. It's not just a hobby for many.
Absolutely, and I'll just give a personal example. My son is a second-year student to be an architect, and he certainly understands like how serious that design process is, what that needs to look like, drawing itself, just the technical drawing skills. I know he, in hindsight, would look back and say, I wish I had had more art classes in my experience. So I think we always have to think creatively about where do students think they may be going, and what are some of those other things we may not be thinking about that will help them be successful.
All right, so if you're told, Corey, you have an art project you need to complete, are you more likely to succeed if you, Corey Golla, are sculpting, painting, drawing, or taking pictures?
Taking pictures.
Oh, I see. I gave you an easy
Yeah,
out.
thank you for giving me the softball. Yeah, not drawing. I might try to do something three-dimensional, and I'm probably going to bank on abstract, so I can say, yeah, it's supposed to look like that.
Exactly. Abstract, everybody wins. That's exactly how I wanted it to look.
Yeah.
That gives me appreciation for what we're surrounded by, because I don't have that aptitude, and it's amazing to see the talent level in our district. What do you think? What goes through you when you see what we're surrounded by?
Well, our teachers are so incredibly skilled, and they think in terms of growth mindset for kids. So, quite honestly, what they would say when they hear you is, you can develop those skills, you can develop those aptitudes, and you just see the work. And I love how visible they make the work across our district, and you see these kids progress in their skills. And I mean, my gosh, you look at some of the art we're surrounded by, it's jaw-dropping to see what students can create.
It is. Let's go inside the classroom in other areas. Almost 30 AP scholars, 9 national AP scholars, almost 30 courses offered at the high school. That AP track has become increasingly important for college. Talk about the AP program at the school and how we're thriving.
Yeah, we absolutely want students to stretch themselves. What we're very good at is supporting kids through struggle, helping them persist, helping them be resilient. So if they can leave our school having already experienced the rigor of college, or if they're working on a youth apprenticeship during their school years, they've persisted and struggled through some of those early steps of that next career journey for them. They're just so much better positioned to succeed and lead when they get out of our schools.
I want to ask you about a couple other things. CE and Rec, I got my little brochure in the mail recently. I'm blown away by the course offerings and how many opportunities there are. CE and Rec, that partnership with the district, why is that important?
Yeah, CE and Rec, it's sort of a little known secret that they are part of our district. That's unique to our community. There's, I think somewhere around 20 communities across the state, maybe more, that have that. And it's critical to just engaging our community. It's a great partnership for us. They've done a remarkable job of thinking creatively through the pandemic, of trying to offer people these opportunities to connect with their passions as adults. We're very excited. The month of February, we started to see the rebound of those registration numbers coming up. Very excited about programming in the spring, some outdoor things, their Fit in the Park program with the village. So Jason Husline and that team are really working incredibly hard to help our community get out and start enjoying some of the things that they've always enjoyed doing.
Yeah, you ought to check out the website. It's amazing. There's stuff for seniors, stuff for young adults, stuff for the children in your family, outdoor stuff. They're bringing back some indoor stuff. You really need to check that out.
And I'll add, John, the senior center. That's been that's a group that we know. I mean, they've been vulnerable to COVID. They're lonely by nature anyway, so finding ways to connect. And now our county, about 75% of those over 65 are vaccinated. So we're seeing those numbers start to rebound. We're planning some trips for them. They like the bus trips and things to some of those experiences. So, we're excited for our whole community to start seeing people get back out and back to normal as things get safer now.
So as we head through the middle part of the spring, we begin to focus on summer. What is summer school? What does the summer academy look like?
Our summer programming, we're really looking to plan what we typically have, and that's a combination of helping some students who have struggled, and we know some students struggled more than others through the pandemic, so making sure we can get them reading and math support in an engaging way. We have enrichment programs so students can connect more with some of those passion and high interest areas, so we'll be offering those. And like we are in school, we'll make every effort to make those as normal as we can. So we'll focus on trying to maximize face-to-face instruction, and we look forward to that. Outdoor activities, we're excited for good weather and get people out.
Oh my gosh, yep, you're right about that.
Yeah.
And the board elections, school board elections are coming up. They are April 6th. It doesn't matter who you're going to vote for. What matters is that you get out and vote. Being involved, having a voice in the people that sit on that board, that's critical for a community.
Yeah, we're only as good as our leadership, and so we want people to be engaged. This is an election that's there's not a lot on the ballot, so but the state superintendent of schools is on there, and we have 2 board seats. So you can visit our board website, and you can have access to that forum that our PTO has hosted, get the perspective and personality of each of the candidates. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel did a nice piece. I saw that posted yesterday, so you can see where they're at. Just stay engaged. Our kids need our community to be involved in their board elections.
He is Corey Golla, the superintendent of the Menomonee Falls School District. Focus on the Falls. Always great to catch up, Corey. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John.